I don't know about y'all, but I've been getting so many videos on my feed of these young women, teenagers, right, stating I'm a 19 or 18-year-old wife and I'm exactly where I want to be. And as an economist, I've been thinking a lot about this because I don't think we really think about the downstream implications of this, as well as some of the economic factors at play that are maybe making this a trend, which is weird. It's weird to say that this is trending right now. Now, of course, this is not meant to detract the value that stay-at-home wives and stay-at-home moms bring to society. In fact, it is estimated through several studies that the monetary value of a stay-at-home parent is between $178,000 and $327,000 annually. And this includes the cost of hiring professionals to perform daily household duties, cooking, cleaning, tutoring, all of those things. And the reality, though, is that people who stay at home and provide these services, right, don't receive the cash monetary value. The only cash coming into the home in these more traditional marriages, in a heteronormative sense, is their husbands bringing home the bacon, so to speak. And I also don't want to be blind to the economic reality in that a lot of the reason why there are stay-at-home wives and stay-at-home moms is because of economic policy failures, right? The fact that we don't have affordable childcare or that we can't find childcare. We saw this during COVID, right, where a lot of women were forced to leave the labor market in order to take care of their kids because there was no viable economic option. And again, there are women who have made this choice, right, that they would like to be a wife and mom first and foremost. And to that, I say kudos, right? I'm not here to start a culture war between the people who choose to be stay-at-home moms because they want to be and the people who don't. However, the levity at which these teenagers, right, because a lot of these people are saying that they're 18 or 19 years old, of being a stay-at-home wife and girlfriend and that you are where you want to be, is very concerning to me as an economist, because a lot of that economic prosperity and satisfaction that these women feel is hedging on a sort of social contract, right? The marriage and a traditional marriage in these situations is the result of the woman agreeing to do labor in the home while the man goes out and earns the money and the living. What happens when that contract fails, right? We don't hear necessarily about the trad non-wife or the divorced trad wife, right? We only hear about the married trad wife. And there's a lot of economic evidence that suggests that when there is divorce, right, when this contract is dissolved, it is women who fare far worse than men in terms of economic benefit. And in fact, for older women in particular, women experienced a 45% drop in their standard of living compared to a 21% drop for men. And other economic studies demonstrate that this impact on standard of living is much more strongly felt by women who do not work outside of the home. And this is because, women can earn spousal support or things like that, but oftentimes how it is awarded in the courts is not nearly the same as it is when you have that contract, that unspoken contract I talked about between more traditional wives and traditional marriages. And unfortunately, for these people getting married at 18 or 19 or 20 years old, the data demonstrates that they are the most vulnerable, right? They have the highest odds of getting divorced compared to people who choose to get married later in life. So they are the people who are the most vulnerable to the situation that I spoke about earlier. And here's the thing, y'all, our labor market is not very nice. Unfortunately, if you've been out of the labor market for 10 years because you decided to stay at home, the labor market is not going to reward you or make it very easy, especially where we are right now, where people with years and years of experience are unable to find work for several months, if not years. And look, here's the thing. I truly wish the best for a lot of these young women, right? I wish that they will be happy in the current relationships and situations they are in, but I think there needs to be a discussion right on the other end of what the reality of marriage at a young age and economic viability of these women looks like in the long run. And for now, that's all I got. As always, if you have any questions, let me know.